Let's go to Calvin, who's going to join us from Jacksonville, Florida. Calvin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
I'm living the dream, Calvin. What's up?
Hey, so I am kind of at a crossroads in my career. I'm in a job that pays really well. My wife and I are also investors in a family business. It's a restaurant business. We have about 15 locations around the Southeast. We're investors in that. And I would really love to transition into that business. My father-in-law is at retirement age, but he's not really interested in retiring at this point. And I've tried to make subtle comments and to move myself into a position to be able to work in that business, but not receiving a whole lot of feedback from him. My mother-in-law's positive on it and positive in her reactions to it, but my father-in-law is not looking forward to moving forward with me. Has he
come? So you've been subtle. Has he just ignored it, or has he actually made some comments?
Just ignored it.
Is it possible, and I think I know the answer, but I have to ask, is it possible that he's not picking up the hints?
No, it's been discussed, my interest in moving forward and being a part. And that was a few years ago. The money that I make at my full-time job, I couldn't make that currently coming into the restaurant business. But my goal is more long-term and just not seeing a whole lot of movement.
Yeah. So it wasn't subtle at all. It was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fair statement.
What's your wife think about this?
She would like for that to happen long term. Obviously, it's her dad, so she's very protective on that side.
Yeah.
But she's not extremely happy with the way the business has gone either. Yeah. I've got some ideas that I've put forward. I've brought in a lot of catering and things like that. But,
so are you working for the company part-time, or just as a family member, as an investor, you're making some suggestions and they're doing that?
Just as a family member and investor making suggestions.
How much do you own in the company?
It's varying amounts in the different restaurants. So anywhere from 25 to 33%. And
that's essentially your wife's stock, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And who's in line if he falls over today, dead? Who takes over?
There is no succession plan in place.
Oh, well, I didn't really ask you that. Who do you think takes over?
My mother-in-law.
Okay. And is there any other children besides your wife?
Yeah, there's my brother-in-law.
And is he in the business?
No, he's not.
I'm sorry, you broke up.
No, he is not.
Does he want to be?
No.
If they called him and said, we need you to do it, would he do it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
He may.
Why do you think the father-in-law has essentially ignored you? If you sat down and talked to him about it and he didn't say anything?
He's not ready to retire. He's not ready to relinquish the reins.
So he said that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we've got a situation here. You're asking me what specifically? Now that I've got the full picture, what are you asking me?
There's no exercise in place, and I'm just wondering how, I guess, first of all, we as a family address that, and second, I've been reading the proximity principle.
Yep.
And, I've got other friends in this business that I could, work with on a part-time basis to learn more about the restaurant business.
Go ahead.
But my wife thinks that would be, well, my wife thinks that would be kind of insulting to the family.
Do you think that they would take it as an insult?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. This is not a simple answer. What do you want to do? Do you want to be in the restaurant business, or do you want to be in the family restaurant business?
I would like to be in the family restaurant business. Like I said, we've had this for 40 years.
Yeah, I get it. What's your relationship like how would you rate your relationship on a 1 to 10 scale with the father-in-law?
On a personal level,
Yeah.
An 8,
Interesting.
9.
Okay. So here's the deal. The answer to your question is, how does the family do it? It's got to be a family thing, not a you thing. And even though you're in the family, you've already told father-in-law you want to be a part of the business, and the guy's not even giving you a glimmer of hope because you got two separate issues. I get that he doesn't want to retire right now. It's why he doesn't want to have any conversation around it. He's just threatened by that whole thing. You don't want to think about him not being here anymore. I think that's a real problem. But I think the wife is the best person. The wife and your daughter, although he's going to start to go, well, the daughter's doing this because she wants her hubs involved. So there's a little bit of that going on. But he's just not open to the conversation about replacing himself. Forget, who actually replaces. He's not even close to that. But there needs to be a succession plan. And if mother-in-law is open to you being involved, that's your best chip. And I think you're going to have to tread lightly, because if he passes away today and the mother-in-law takes over and the mother-in-law knows your desire to do it, then I think that's fine. And I think you talk to the mother-in-law and go, hey, if I wanted to get some restaurant experience on the side, I've got some relationships and I wanted to get that so that I could, again, prove to you all that I have got the skill set to come in and help the family run this thing, at least make my case. Do you think that would bother you and your husband? I get her point of view on it. She seems to be the right person to talk to. If she comes back and says it's a bad idea, then don't do it.
Okay.
But you have to stay out of this right now. And other than being a cheerleader for your wife, to then have your wife get your brother-in-law involved and mother-in-law involved, and they push the dad, your father-in-law, to come up with a succession plan. That's got to come from them. It can't be you. And I think you're going to have to bide your time right now. But I would go the restaurant experience route on the side, but I would check it with the mother-in-law. Do you think that's an option?
I do, yeah.
If it rubs her the wrong way, don't do it. It's not worth it. Because I think you've got what it takes to help run that thing anyway, don't you?
I absolutely do.
Yeah. So don't cause a problem that's unnecessary. This is not a battle line. You're just going to have to be patient, unfortunately. I wish I had a better answer, but again, it's got to come from the wife. Your mother-in-law's got to be the driving force on this. She's got to go, hey, if something happens to you, we don't have a plan, and I know I become the CEO, and I don't want to be the CEO. Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, then she's got to be the driving force. It's got to be her. So to the extent that you and your wife and your brother-in-law can encourage her to be pushing this issue without it looking like she's feeling like she's being manipulated or whatever, that's all you can do, and that's the best way to go about it.